All right, we are back with another edition of the Quarantinecast. It's episode 140, and I'm actually having someone I've had on before. But last time we spoke, he was just about to compete in the Contender series. He went on and earned a big win, and now he's officially a member of the UFC roster. He has yet to make his debut due to some injuries and things like that, and we're going to talk a little bit about that. But without further ado, Orion Cosce, how you doing?
Good. Thanks for having me on again, man.
No, it's been a while. So I guess before we start talking about things professionally, you had a good year, I guess, for 2020 in terms of your personal life. You got married and everything. So how's the married life?
Married life's good, man. I mean, obviously there's little things you gotta do differently. You gotta keep the wife happy a lot more, but it's good. I married my partner, I married that one person, and it feels good. It feels good. I mean, every relationship you're gonna have those issues and arguments. You're never gonna fully agree on everything, but you just got to decide when it's that time who you're gonna settle down with for the rest of your life. So it's not bad, man. It's a blessing.
Yeah, I mean it's amazing that it's happened during the pandemic too, with everything going on. It's crazy. How was that? Did you end up having like a decently sized wedding, or was it something more private because of the restrictions?
Luckily for us, we both have really, really big families. If we didn't have COVID as an excuse to have to cut down, it was unfortunate, but we would have had like 500, 600 people. And like 50 at the very end of it all. So, I mean, it was so good to see all those people, that all showed up. But we saved a lot. That's for sure. We saved a lot, but it was a beautiful wedding. I said I wasn't going to cry, and I ended up tearing up a little bit. So I had to tell myself, I was like, fuck, don't be a bitch, dude. Don't be a bitch. Don't cry. But she looked beautiful that day, and she looked beautiful every day. It was fun to relive that memory, though. Getting married, it's weird. It's not like fighting. Like fighting, I'm not nervous for fighting. But when I saw her walking down that aisle, I was like, holy fuck, like, this is real. This is happening.
Yeah, it's awesome to see that, because it's funny because you're a cage fighter, and to see like that emotional side and that nervousness at a wedding of all things is it puts things into perspective. It's almost humanizing. I heard that your honeymoon and you went down to Mexico and things weren't, I guess, perfect. You were caught in a storm. What was that like?
I wouldn't change it for anything, dude. It was awesome. For anything, we were just because at first they were saying category 3, and we're like, oh, that's not too bad. But then it's like a couple hours later, though, oh, it's going to be category 4. And I was like, fuck, that actually might be kind of bad. I'm like talking to my wife, and she's like, nah. And then later, though, category 5. I was like, all right, babe, we got to get the fuck out of here. But, we got lucky. They took good care of us. We ended up going to like an area that was like supposed to be super secure. But if it was a category 5, like there was a really good chance of that building that we were in getting fucked up. Even a category 4, there's real possibilities, but we got fortunate because it was category 5 all the way up until landfall. And as soon as it touched landfall, it turned right back to a category 1. And so it was super chill. We ended up going back, enjoying the rest of the vacation. But, we made a lot of good friends on that vacation too. Like you got close to the people that were inside the same room as you and stuff like that. It was a great experience, man. Like we get to say like, hey, we were caught in a storm, whatever, like a hurricane, but I definitely want to go back, though. Great times there. Great times.
Yeah, I guess it's just kind of like making the most of what comes your way, whether it's a storm or whatnot. And it's awesome that you have that outlook. Like, yeah, we had a great time, regardless of the scenario.
Yep. And then cool part about it, too, was my manager, Jason. He ended up getting me the fight news against Nick Dalby during my honeymoon. I was like, dude, this is the best honeymoon gift I've got so far. I was still training while I was down there, too. I was training about once or twice a day, lots of swimming, running, hitting the weights, stuff like that, shadow boxing in the sand. So it wasn't like my training changed. It was just, I was a little bit more relaxed. I was eating good, like a little bit more on the unhealthy side because it's Mexico. You got to enjoy yourself, especially on the honeymoon. But, once I got back, I ended up, I think it was just the cause of overtraining. It wasn't that I stopped training. I just started overtraining. I was just so excited for this fight. It's against Nick Dalby. He's a tough competitor. And I was just telling myself, I was like, fuck, I'm going to go out there and finish this guy and then go on and finish the next guy. But I ended up finishing myself before the fight even started. So I don't regret it, though. The only thing I do regret was the style of training I did. I just pushed my body too hard. I was training really hard 3 to 4 times a day.
Yeah, that was my next question was that injury, and I guess how is recovery, and are you back to 100% now, and are you ready to go?
I'm ready to fight. So we're actually looking for me to fight in May, maybe late April, but we're still figuring it out right now. I feel great. The weightlifting's coming on really good. Still getting fully recovered upper body wise. It was a pinched nerve, and you know how pinched nerves can go. It can be a couple of weeks, it can be a couple of months, it could be a year. Fortunately enough for me, I know how to use that PT on myself, and I was seeing a couple of different like chiropractors and massage therapists. It's been really helping with recovery. They were saying, I probably wouldn't be able to get back to my training for 6 months. I got back to training after a month and a half, back to the way I kind of was doing things. The arm was like numb for a little bit, probably like a month and a half to 2 months, but I just started pushing through, started training again. But I'm back to grappling and striking on the heavy bag and stuff like that, light rolling, but a lot of heavy weight. And then right after this, I'm about to go put myself through a hit style workout. So it's going to be high interval intensity training with the box bands that I have. I'm going to use that, set that up to me so I get resistance to get more recovery to proceed that faster. So I want to fight in late April or early May. I'm tired of this fucking waiting, dude. I hate injuries. I just want to fight. That's when I'm happiest, is when I'm fighting.
Yeah, it's funny because that's kind of how I remember both you and Lewis, is that, you guys just wanted to go. Didn't matter who, didn't matter where. Do you still have that same outlook? Obviously, I'm sure you would like the Nicholas Dalby fight. I'm sure there's other names as well, like maybe fighting Sasha Palatnikov, who just beat Lewis. But is there any name in particular you're looking at, or just whoever they throw your way?
After that fight with Palatnikov, I was really pissed off. Like my brother, he obviously after that first round, I was like, dude, something's wrong with his arm, something's wrong with the shoulder, and then it turned out like he had to get surgery because he tore his labrum during the fight. I thought, 99 out of 100 times he beats Palatnikov. I don't think Palatnikov's that good. Maybe I'm butchering Sasha's name, but he's not that good. He just managed to get lucky that my brother fucking blew out his shoulder pretty much right when he knocked him down. Like he even said it too, that he couldn't use that power in the right arm. He should have been a little bit more strategic with taking the back. But in the end of the day, the guy did come back to beat my brother. And that was the fight I really wanted. I told my manager straight up, I was like, give me that fight. I'm going to fucking retire that dude. But even though I showed emotion then, I've never showed emotion during a cage fight. I've never been emotional when I'm fought. I go out there and I just have fun. I want to fight the best to be the best. So the Nick Dalby fight still excites me, but I understand that Nick Dalby beat a very good Daniel Rodriguez. And so Dalby's probably now thinking, hey, I want to fight Orion Cosce. I want to fight somebody up, because I know that Dalby's doing the same thing, man. He's trying to fight to win, and when he wins, he gets to go up in the rankings. I haven't got to do that yet, so whoever they send my way, I'll beat them. I'm not looking for it to go to the judges. Fuck them. I'll always say that, fuck judges, dude. They're always getting shit wrong for the most part, but I'm always going to go look for the finish, even if it's a tough fight. If it's something where my coach is all, hey, go out there, take him down, win the round, you win the fight, I ain't going to do that. I'm going to be an exciting fan, fight fan for people. I'm going to be somebody that goes for the finish every time. So Dalby, Palatnikov, whoever, Rodriguez, Mickey Gall, shit, fight one of the top-ranked guys too. I just want to have fun with this sport. I just like to have fun, but I get that, it's a longevity thing too. Fight who you can, when you can. And it's all about fighting during the season. So I want to fight twice before my birthday. My birthday's in July, so I want to fight, like in May or June or late April, late May, or even early June. Try to get, 2 fights out of the way. And then if I can, depending on how the fights go, if I feel good to go again, I'll fight a third time, because I'm constantly trying to stay fight ready after a fight. You just never know. You see these guys like Kamaev and who else just got done fighting, in back-to-back weeks almost. Like there's a couple of fighters that are doing that. Who is it? Holland, I think. He did it.
Kevin Holland does it a lot, yeah.
But that's the kind of fighter I am. If I'm not feeling any injuries, I'm staying ready to fight again. I'll fight 3 times in 1 week. I don't give a fuck. I fight, man. I have fun with it.
That's hilarious. One of the things you talked a little bit about was your brother Lewis, and as someone who just went through a recovery, what's your advice to him? I mean, obviously your recovery went a lot smoother than what was initially anticipated. But what's your advice for him, when he's going through his recovery?
I just tell him, keep doing the PT. I mean, we hopped in the this ice-ass cold river together just the other day because that's who came down to visit was my brother. So we got to enjoy and really just take advantage of like seeing each other because he lives 6 hours away. And anytime we get to see each other, we're just like out hiking or doing stuff together. But he's doing really good with his recovery, so it's smooth. I'm hoping to see him back full capacity sooner than later, but it's a time thing, man. He's got to go through the proper steps to not come back too soon and get injured again, and now he's prolonged. We're in this for a long time, not a short time. And I want to fight till I'm 40, so me changing my training style too. I was training 3 times a day, 4 times a day, almost super hard, not giving my body the necessary breaks or fuel that it needed. So now I'm changing it up to where, I'm changing that training style and I'm still getting acclimated to it. There's some things I wish I would do more. I got to get myself back into alpha male more. I got a couple of the guys there that I asked them when I'm coming back, and it's more so of a process of like, I don't want to risk too much too soon with that pinched nerve. If I pinch it one way again, who's to say how long I'll be out for this time? So the strength and the conditioning have come back really, really good. I've done some light grappling. I've done some light sparring. I'm now ready to go back, but I'm also going on another vacation this upcoming Friday from the 15th to Hawaii. First time there. I'm going to have fun. I'm going to bring my box bands and bring cones. That way I'm hiking, swimming, killing sharks if they come up to me. That I ain't messing around like that. I hear about people getting attacked all the time. So I'm bringing a knife and a spear. Do what I used to do when I was living downriver in the woods. Knife and a spear to the water and stab whatever comes up to you.
I love that. You'll fight anybody and anything, literally.
I just want to have fun. Coming back to the training, I love it, dude. I miss it so much, and I can't wait to fully get back to 100% training like I was. But even when I go back to alpha male, I'm going to make it to where alpha male, I'll train like techniques, light and moderate, and then when it's time to go live, moderate, heavy, recover, refuel properly, more water intake. I did a lot more water nowadays than I was before. I was doing water and juice and coffee and stuff like that, and like trying to mix it around and stuff like that, trying to play with it. When I should have just did what I originally was doing that always worked. I should never have added more. There was no need. And then in the afternoons, light mitt work, go purely for technique and speed. No need for power on mitts. There's no need for it when I can do mitts on the heavy bag right after. But then in the late afternoons, splitting it up to where I'm doing strength every other day and then endurance and cardio every other day. And then on Sundays, complete rest. That's me just walking around, enjoying the sun with my wife and the family and stuff like that.
Yeah, it sounds like you've got a routine. Is there a specific gym you're training at now? Or are you at Lost? You're not at Lost Boys anymore, are you?
So if I'm up in Humble, I'll visit the family up there and go to Lost Boys. But down here, I'm strictly at Alpha Male. I won't go to the gyms. If I'm out of town, though, I'll hit up some other guys that I know and go to their gym. But like I said, it's been a while since I've been back in Alpha Male, and I got to just get back in there. So I'm excited to get back in there sooner than later.
Yeah, they've got a great team there now too. I think the team's continuing to grow. What's it like working with I guess Uriah Faber mainly in his mind?
It's awesome. It's cool. Get to pick that guy apart. I'm not going to shit on Alpha Male when I say this, but I've noticed that a lot of their style is like kind of like counter style. It's like a counter style of boxing. It works for them. I'm not a counter guy though. I'm not going to be that guy who's super light on the feet, moving back and forth, and it works great for them. But you guys saw that fight against, Matt Dixon. I just kept pressuring forward. If you put me against the cage, I said, fuck it. Start popping him in the ear, start popping him when I can. I'm a power fighter. And I do believe that it is good to counter, but I also believe in the power of just trucking a motherfucker down and making him hit him once. That changes his whole game plan. Matt Dixon technically was the better striker. He didn't show that in his fight, though. I'm being realistic when I say that. I fought guys who have better striking than I do. But I hit them once, and all of a sudden, I am the better striker. I fought guys that have better grappling. I hit them once, I have better grappling. It's because they feel that power. When I hit them, they don't see it. They don't realize how hard I'm going to hit them. And that's just from, years and years of wrestling and learning. Keep my feet planted as I hit. The more explosive I am with a punch, the better. Popping off shots back to back to back. You don't have to be the guy that pops up high volume. You can have high volume in a short amount of punches and strikes and make them feel that. And once they feel that, that's when you start to taste blood and keep going from there. You just got to be smart about it. So what I'm trying to add more to is a little bit more of that alpha male style of in and out when I need to be. But for the most part, I just want to fucking fight, and I'm down to throw hands in the center. That's why I do this high guard. That way I'm able to see the punches. I feel it. I don't feel anything like it's going to hurt, so I just keep trucking on through.
Do you feel like when there's that 0 next to your name that it's a lot easier? You know, you don't know what it's like to taste defeat, you know, but if you've been knocked out or if you've been submitted, did you feel like people tend to be gun shy and maybe not have that same mentality?
It's hard to tell. You know, I'm probably going to face a guy here in the future who, I mean, they see my fights. They know I have the finishing capability. I don't go to fight to win. I go to fight to finish. There is a difference between fighting to win and fighting to finish. I'm the guy who fights to finish. I will never be the guy who settles just for the win. Always for the finish. That's who I am. But even in training, dude, I'd rather have a bad day of training or a bad week of training than to go in a fight and then have a bad day there. And, you know, I've had that a couple times where I've got outstruck or out-grappled at sparring and people ask, yo, you're off today. I'm like, fuck, I'd rather be off today than in that fucking cage, though. Because then I'm able to work around that. Those are the days where you get to push harder. I'm not going to sit here in line and be like, yeah, I'm the best in the gym. I'm the best outside the gym. But I am the best in the cage, and that's where it matters.
Yeah, I mean, that's a great mentality. I read George St. Pierre's book, and he said the same thing. He's like, it's not the first time I've been outsmarted or defeated in the gym, but when it comes to fight night, no one beats me. So it's you know, that's a great point. Is you can have a shitty training camp, but as long as you're on for that 25 minutes or 15 minutes, that's really all that matters.
Yeah.
There's another man who's undefeated. He's competing this weekend, and I couldn't go without asking your prediction for it. Israel Adesanya and Jan Blachowicz. Are you tuning into that? And if so, what's your take, and who do you think's winning it?
Watching that, I'll be in Hawaii watching that, but I'll definitely fucking watching that fight. I think Adesanya, if he can stay smart and stay on the outside, stay technical, I don't think he's gonna do the whole entire violence thing like he says he does. Nothing against him, but Jan Blachowicz, if he lands one even good strike on Adesanya, it's probably going to be lights out for Adesanya. You know, he's got to realize he's fighting these up-and-comer bigger guys, and he's already said he's not going to try to fight at a heavier weight. He's not putting on size for this fight. So he's going to fight like a 185-pounder with a couple extra pounds. But I think Jan will have the power advantage. I think Adesanya with the technique advantage. Technically on the stand-up, but Jan's, you know, he's a great fighter too, and maybe we'll see a little bit of both people's ground games. Who does have the superior ground technique? Is Jan going to try to play into Adesanya's style of, you know, he's going to try to pull Jan in and, you know, counter style and then release? Or is Jan not going to let him do that? We're going to see another Yoel Romero Adesanya fight. That shit was boring as fuck. That was one of the worst fights I've ever seen. I wish both of those guys would have lost that fight, because you had Adesanya trying to, and I get it, Adesanya's trying to pull the power striker into his fight, but Yoel Romero knew not to go into his fight. There's a way to counter a counter fighter. To force a counter fighter to try to be the aggressor, and how do you do that? You slowly approach. You just slowly stalk them. There's just a bunch of different ways you can play it. So we'll see how that fight goes. I think that Amanda Nunes knocks out Megan Anderson, and then I think that Peter Yan will that's actually great. I think Peter Yan gets the knockout if he keeps standing. I think that Aljamain Sterling gets a submission win if it goes to the ground.
Yeah, that's exactly how I have it. I really like the Jan Blachowicz fight. I just think stylistically that's super compelling. You know, a guy who likes to piece his opponents apart, and then a power striker. So it's going to be an interesting one.
There is a fight on that card, though, I think should definitely be its own main event. Thiago Santos versus Riocic. That is going to be a fucking outstanding fight. I cannot wait for that one. That one right there is supposed to lead off the main event. Someone's getting knocked the fuck out.
Yeah.
That fight.
Yeah, there's some crazy cards, and there's 15 fights. There's 15 fights on this card, which is unbelievable. It's stacked top to bottom. I'm going to ask you this last question before I let you go. You're going to Hawaii. Obviously, you're back in shape. You're healthy. How do you go to Hawaii and kind of stay disciplined? Like, I can imagine if I'm going to Hawaii, I am going and I'm drinking and I'm having a good time. So how do you kind of balance both things at the same time?
Very easy. I'm going to enjoy myself by being outdoors. I mean, being outdoors is my way to have fun. I like to go hiking. I like to go swimming. I want to enjoy it all. I'm there for the experience. I'm even planning on going with my my brother-in-law for a round of golfing because it's my wife and her family's all going. So the family-in-law, they're all going too. And we're just going to have a fun time. We're going to go snorkeling, zip lining, be outdoors all the time. So I'll go running on the beach. I'll do, my workout at the house. If I can find weights nearby, I'll lift. I don't need a lift, though. I can go outside. I can lift my wife. I can have her on my shoulders and just hike her up the mountain or pick up one of her little sisters and start doing lunges and stuff. I'm going to find ways to stay in shape. But the main focus is for me, it's like I can literally go there and just have fun and not work out the entire time. Or I can go there, have fun, work out an hour or two a day, split it off morning and evening, and then be ready for a fight. And I'm thinking about my career. I'm not thinking about just, oh, I'm going to Hawaii for the first time. I'm going to just sit there and have fun. No, I'm going to go there, have a blast, and stay in shape and stay, determined to fight by May. I want you to fight by May at the, earliest, maybe late April, mid-April, whatever comes. I don't care.
I love it. Is there anybody you'd like to thank? Any sponsors you want to give a shout out to before we end it?
Yeah, I'd like to thank everyone who's been helping me out with all this. I'd like to thank Team Alpha Male for still sticking by my side through all this. Lost Boys for sticking by my side. My sponsors, Gray Bush Metal. If you haven't heard them, check them out. They were humble based with some Sacramento influence around them because it's a mixture of people from both areas. That's if you're into metal, guys. Even if you're not into metal, just shut the fuck up, rock out, turn them on. Get Right. Thank you guys for everything, for supporting me with the clothing, just the brand itself. And they just opened a facility up in Crescent City. So I'm looking forward to going up there and putting on a seminar for them as well. Steph Dalkey with the doTERRA products, a lot of the oil's been helping, especially, I don't really like to sleep. It's weird. I like to sleep, but my body doesn't. My mind doesn't like to turn off, but because of the oils that I get, it helps a lot. And then the UFC PI for hooking me up with like the Thorn products for like the vitamins daily and nightly. And then Javier Arroyo for the chiropractic work. And pretty sure there's other people too that I'm forgetting. My management for, helping me out through all through with me and making sure I'm taken care of all the time with all the product they send me to and making sure I'm up to date with them. Fuck you, Sada, for always having to know where I'm at all times. I think it's kind of creepy. It's like a weird stalker that just wants to know where you are. I get it. Keep this, sport clean. I love that aspect, but it's weird having to always update where you're at all times. And
that would be a pain.
For having me on. I look forward to it, and I just want to thank all my family and friends for supporting me. Instagram is at Galaxy Cosce. I'm barely on Facebook. If I am, I'm talking shit to my family and friends about politics just to piss them off. # cancel Orion Cosce. And I'm barely on Twitter, guys. If you're messaging me on Twitter, please stop. Message me on Instagram. I hate Twitter. I got banned for 2 months. And then I wanted to stay banned. I even deleted my account, but somehow they re-added my account and I'm back on. So if I'm on there, it's rarely here and there. But please, cancel me on there too. I hate social media. I only like Instagram.
I love it, man. Instagram is the way to go. I agree. But thanks again for the time, man, and have a great time in Hawaii. And we'll have to do this again, hopefully after your next win.
Awesome. Hey, thank you so much for having me on, and good luck with everything. And maybe once I get fight news, we'll do another one right before.
Oh, man, I love it. All right, all the best. Stay safe, man. Things are crazy, so don't catch anything.
Not going to. Take care, guys.
All right, man. There you have it, Orion Cosce. I had him on long before he made it to the UFC, and I'm happy to have him back on, and we'll do this again. If you guys haven't yet, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and we will see you guys next time.